Ah,
Welcome to Books on Tap.
Welcome.
We're back. We're back again, once again. This
You never
time,
know when we're gonna be there.
Yeah, which Wednesday
No.
will we show up? Who knows?
Maybe
Not
it'll be
us.
Friday.
Yeah, maybe it'll be Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're back. We're back with Mistborn Era 2, baby. Book 2. Shadows of Self. We're doing the
Book
whole
2 of
book.
Era 2, book 5 overall.
Do you guys think of it as book
Yep.
5? I feel like
No.
it's no. Ron, I heard you say that earlier.
Unrelated. They
Book
literally
5.
restarted the world.
oh well,
after
that's
the
just because I
third book.
couldn't remember the name, so I just know that if I look that up online, I'm gonna get the right name. So
Yeah.
I was forgetting. So that's
The names are a bit of these books are a bit less memorable.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely this one.
I
Can't remember it. It's like
Yeah,
doesn't
I
say in my
know.
mind the title of the book.
I'm gonna do introductions. I'm Rylan.
I'm Kieran.
Hi Ryland. Hi Kieran. I'm Dylan.
Hi Dylan.
Nice.
We're reviewing
There
this
you go.
book.
Welcome to Books on Tap.
Books on Tap,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, Shadows of Self.
Shadows
Not memorable.
of
Sorry
Self.
to end that thought.
All right. You know what we start off with every time, boys. First impressions on the book. We're doing the whole book. Today. First impressions. You know what? I never start, so I'm gonna start this time.
Go for it.
All right, let's do it.
I basically, I don't know. I have like no criticisms of this book. I feel like I read it and I wasn't angry about anything. There wasn't a single time where I was like, "This was bad." The whole book was just like banger after banger after banger. It was just fun. It was good. I have no like it wasn't like particularly amazing, but it was just like I just did like normally I'm like the criticism king. Like I pick out all the fucking little shits that I don't like, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you in this part. But I just didn't do it in this book. It was just fun. I just enjoyed it the whole time, and some cool plot points. I can't believe they did my boy Wax like that. Unbelievable.
At the end, oh my god.
Unbelievable, dude. And yeah, it's like just super fun, laid back plot. It was just more of the first book in terms of like theming and everything. And there's nothing I can really criticize about it. It was just great. But it wasn't even great. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go around? Or me?
Sure. Yeah, I could just echo off that point because that's what I was gonna say too. I would say it was great, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. That's the difference. That's where I
Yeah.
categorize it.
I mean,
I'd say it was a great book.
I'd agree.
Yeah, super fun read. I think it wasn't as big of a jump in terms of like what I've just expected, like with like world building. Like from book 1 to book 2, I feel like book 1 was very simple, and book 2 is it was a decent jump, and I honestly I liked how big it was, but I'm just saying I expected it to be a bit more like holy crap, like a bunch of different storylines going in a bunch of different places, but it kind of was a relatively simple plot. But I did like how it added a bunch more features. We got to know, talked a lot more about the Conjure, and it did talk more. The world did open up, but it wasn't like too expansive. I love the ending, so good, super unexpected to like the last second. I feel so stupid for not seeing it, seeing that, but I loved it. Super satisfying ending, super sad. Yeah, definitely made me really. I felt the emotion of Wax. He did a great job with that. Fun characters. Yeah, no, I was very impressed. It was a lot of fun. I found myself like I was surprised how fast I finished it, and like I don't even remember where that time went. Like that was like a longer book than the first one, but like I just felt like it flew by. So it says a lot.
Yeah, like I finished it in like 2 days, and I was like just like a fever dream of like just reading, and it just felt like time was flying by. It was great. I think
Yeah.
just really quick, one of the comments you made was that you thought that there'd be a big more of like a world building thing. I have a feeling that's probably gonna be the next book, specifically because of what he mentioned in the prologue for this one, or not the prologue, the pre-read or whatever, where he was basically saying that like the first book in this series, like it's
Oh,
basically
right.
this
Yeah.
is the first book in the trilogy,
The actual
basically.
first book.
Ah.
And the first book that we read was basically like a pre first book. So
That makes
yeah,
so much more sense.
yeah. I have
Yeah.
a feeling the next book's gonna be the big world building one.
Mm. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you said that. I forgot about that
Uh,
point.
The Wall of Ascension compared to Mistborn is just like ridiculous in terms of world building.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of the like Mistborn like side stories are like, oh yeah, spoilers for Bands of Mourning, the
For
next
Bands of
one.
Mourning, yeah.
Yeah, so the next one I'm
Yeah.
sure is gonna be like a fever dream of like Cosmere shit, which I'm so hyped for.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, my impressions were I'm gonna do a mix. It was great for the first 2/3, I thought, and good for the last third. But I still enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it in the whole thing. I like burned through the first 2/3 of it, and then kind of near the end, like near part 3, when the city was just burning down, I was like, okay, this is a bit more like standard. I thought, but it needs to happen and close out the story. Except for the ending. The ending's crazy, but like before that. But yeah, I thought it was really nice to have like Wax as more of a controversial character among other characters. Like he's not like a perfect hero like he is in the first book. It's like everyone's like, okay, he's like kind of a crazy person. Like you like you tolerate his presence, but you don't actually like. Not everyone loves him. I really appreciated that angle.
Very Kelsier, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, very Kelsey.
This
I thought, yeah, I thought it was just that. This is good, just great for the first, especially the first half. So our first 2/3.
yeah, dude. The
And,
second,
yeah, I don't know what the ending. The ending was sorry. One more thing. The ending with the like the crazy ending with the Khandra being Lessie. We'll get to that, but I don't know. I have thoughts. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah.
I love
that
it.
was fucking crazy, goddamn.
It's
reveal.
so good. Oh, that was nuts, man. Could have had her back.
Specifically, Marasi and Wax, I felt like both had very good development in this book.
Yeah, there was some really.
Yeah, I think Marasi
cool parts
grew a
there.
lot. Yeah, and I'm happy we got more Asteris, which is great.
I
knew
was
we
sad
were
we
gonna
didn't
like
get more
her.
Steris. I wanted to get a lot more Steris in this book, and we didn't get that much for her.
Ooh.
Well, we did get a lot more Asteris. We did get a lot more Asteris.
compared to
but
the first
yeah,
book,
I
yeah.
would have liked even more. I would have liked even more of her.
Yeah.
But I did really like her parts.
Yeah, Steris was
Yeah,
good. in all
Marasi
the
grew a
parts she
lot.
was.
Yeah. No, she's. I don't know though. I wonder if she's the kind of the character though. She might get annoying if she has too much of a part.
Steris?
We'll
I
see.
don't
I'm
think
sure
so.
she'll have a bigger.
No,
I
I
don't
never
think
got.
I don't think so.
I never
I
got.
don't
I never
know.
felt it was going in that direction whenever she was on.
Yeah, like Steris, I feel like she's got a very interesting like relationship with Wax. Like they bounce well off each other in terms of writing, and I think their conversations are always like quite interesting.
Yeah, I guess just the one thing good about her not having as much of a part though is that when she does have parts, are like I'm always like super excited. Whereas if she was there the whole time, it might dull it out a bit. But like I don't know, I just like whenever she's in a part, I'm like, oh man, she's gonna have a really cool perspective, and then. So I just wondered, I don't know, if it would dull out a bit if she wasn't in there as much, if she was in there more. But
yeah,
hopefully she's in there more. I can see that.
Fairly confident she will be, but that's what we said about this book too. So
yeah. The other thing is this is kind of the first book, and the other one was kind of like a prologue, which I feel like kind of changes our predict. Like I feel like a lot of our predictions probably like apply to the next book more than this one.
He also wrote He also wrote the Bands of Mourning first, and then
Yeah.
wrote this book after.
Yeah.
So
Oh damn.
Well, like he'd written most of this book and then had to like drop it and come back to it and then finish Bands of Mourning before finishing this one.
Damn. So that's
Yeah.
the book he kind of
centers
baby.
everything on.
Yeah. The other thing that you mentioned, Kieran, earlier when you're talking about your intro or your thoughts and opinions on it, you mentioned the like the city fire at the end. I'm just like, the second you said that, it all just kind of like clicked into place for me, especially because you mentioned like Wax right after being kind of like being more like Kelsier, and I'm like, wow, there's so many parallels between the first Mistborn book and this one. Like it almost feels like kind of the same.
I think it's very intentional because the characters in the book are like, oh, this is kind of like the what Kelsier did. And everyone's like, no, it's not that crazy, yo. And then they're like, oh, but it is kind of like that though. It's like back and forth.
And I really like their flash. They're like, well, you probably would have taken down Kelsey or Wax, and then he's like, oh,
yeah.
He's like,
and like Wax's internal struggle from that.
Yeah, like, oh, you're definitely right about that. Wax would definitely be against
Kelsier. Yeah,
he's definitely right about that, but it definitely made him think. It's like, I feel like the Lord Ruler is like pretty intense. It's like to be following him, but you have to be very, very dedicated to your job to ignore what the Lord Ruler was doing.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, like, it's kind of similar. Like, I feel like one of the big, like, points that this book is making is that this bureaucracy of, like, it's just devolved to the exact same shit that it was before in the Lord Ruler's era. Like, the only difference is that people aren't being explicitly murdered. They're instead being, oh, they're still slaves, right? Like, they're still absolute slaves to the system.
Yeah, it's true. They're not being explicitly murdered. That's a big leap, I think.
Yeah. Little progress bits, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like similar to real life.
Yeah.
A lot more similar to real life. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like instead of, it almost feels like they become more efficient at subjugating their population because murder is just not, it's not economically and businessly
not justifiable
a
enough.
sound decision. No? Yeah, like you just like exploit them some more until they agree. It's not, at least
they do it themselves.
At least they're not getting killed, right? Like at least they're living. Yeah, I definitely feel like this was like a pretty poignant like political commentary.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah. Especially this being a sequel to the Lord Ruler like era of Mistborn, and it having so many just like similarities between the two worlds. Like, I think he's really trying to bring home the point that it feels like not much has really changed.
I wonder if there's a bunch of like built-up symbolism in Mistborn trilogy, and not enough people understood it. So he's like, I'm gonna make it really clear this time. All the parallels.
No, I feel like I don't think it's that. Like, I feel like everyone got that, so but it's now more of like a, like, this has definitely evolved the like, it's not just like read contextualizing the same idea that he put forth.
It's deeper. It feels deeper.
It feels a lot deeper. Yeah. It feels more complete of a.
I think it's really interesting to have kind of not Wayne, but Wax and Marasi as like. I think they're going to evolve to be like against the law by the end of the fourth book in the series.
100%.
But like in their own separate ways, right? Marasi's going to like use the system to fight the system, and Wax is going to like be the opposite of the system to fight the system. So cool. And we have Wayne just being a meme on the side.
Dude, I actually love Wayne. Wayne is so good. He's got just like the best insights at like the most weird times.
Yeah, the church
Yeah.
of the bar. That
Dude,
scene.
that scene was so insanely good. Like the whole time
was
I'm reading that, I'm
incredible.
just like, oh my god, Kieran and Rylan will love this part.
So fun.
It was
It
so
just
good.
felt it felt
was
like
so
such a fever dream right in the middle. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
It's so random.
Yeah, like the
Did not
tonal
expect
shift at that moment, right?
It's
Yeah.
just like what? What is happening?
I think it took you into like Wayne's mind, like how his tone is when all this shit's happening.
Yeah,
That was so well done in that way.
it was pretty funny.
All right, let's do it.
Two of these
It's like the
chapters.
prologue. This is where we get another flashback chapter with Wax, and we find this is him meeting Bussy the first time. When they're tracking down Granite Joe at the same time, and Bussy's about to betray Wax and decides to shoot Joe instead, or so he thinks. It looks like she's about to shoot Wax and then shoots Joe, but really we know later on it's all part of the plan.
No.
They quickly hit it off and they leave together. We also Wayne's here tagging along as an assistant, but we don't see him very much.
Yeah.
That was a fun chapter.
Yeah, it was fun. I will say, if there was like this was probably one of the weaker parts of the book.
It was just so different from everything else in the book.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
like an old Western film, which is what he was going for, I'm sure, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't fit. And
Yeah.
like Wax's incompetence here is like a little bit unbelievable too, I find. He's like competent but incompetent at the same time.
Dude, he's so incompetent in this, and it almost makes you wonder whether Wax is actually just OP because he has the blessing of Sazed. And Sazed is basically just like interfering and giving him like all these power. Like, remember Ryland was really pissed about like that gunshot that he made at the end of the last book?
Yeah.
Like that.
Well,
like Sazed probably godly influence.
that's the thing though. I feel like Sazed's whole philosophy is that he can't directly interfere like that.
But he kind of is.
He can only like send people to do.
But
to
he
do
is
stuff
in.
wrong.
But he is.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is that
They
he
send him-
totally is. Like there's absolutely no shot that Wax isn't just like super juiced up on god powers.
I wouldn't go as far as saying no shot, but he's interfering. Just not. I don't think he's like touching powers in reality like that.
Oh, I think he totally is. Like he's giving Wax abilities for sure that he. Like Wax is so strong in so like that shot was impossible to make by Wax. Like he needed the guidance of or like the luck of God basically to hit that shot. Which Sazed is giving him, and like it's literally like this chapter at the beginning here is basically like bonking us on the head that like, hey, Wax isn't just like a god shooter. Like this was recent too.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was right where he started.
It was like 5. It was like 5 years into him being the Roughs. So it was like 15 years
5
ago.
years.
Yeah.
5 years in. Oh, I thought it sounded like he just was like a couple years in.
Well, no, it felt tonally. It felt like he just got there like 2 weeks ago. But
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's probably like in his 20s, just messing around, and now he's like 40. Very different vibes.
Definitely seems like he's a lot more OP now, and it doesn't seem like it's just from experience.
I don't know, man. When I remember him with Mistborn, it's like, well, it's also Vin was Mistborn, so that's pretty OP in itself. But
she literally
like,
had the guidance of God. He like Wax is basically Vin. Like
she didn't have the guidance of God though until the end.
She
like
was
preservation.
chosen though. She kind of did though. Like she was the chosen one, and it was getting repressed because of the earring that she had.
Yeah, but like, I guess the difference is the guidance is just like words, right, in their ear, but like not actual changing their powers. Like, do they have the ability?
Well,
is there any evidence that like? that they can do that.
Vin was able to use the mists, and Wax always talks about how he's like more what's it called when he's in the mists?
Oh yeah, he feels better when he's in the mists.
Like he's
Oh yeah,
he's
you know, Brandon Sanders is gonna do some
dude,
crazy
like
shit with
he's
that.
done like every single thing about Wax's powers. Like he's just left so many hints that he's like he's got
He's different.
special stuff that other Twinborn don't have. Like it I don't know. I would be if he wasn't being like influenced by Sazed in some way, like given some extra stuff, I would be blown away surprised.
I don't know. I thought it was just kind of like maybe that's why Zed chose him though. You know, because he was already like he was born OP in his heart, like in his genes.
Heart. No, dude, Brandon doesn't do
Yeah,
shit like that. Like, come on, we read so much Brandon, guys. You know he's not just like that.
We'll see.
I'm getting convinced
We'll see.
a little bit.
We'll see. I'm surprised you guys are pushing back on this at all. If I'm being honest, I thought this was like perfect. On the head obvious.
I don't know, man. Do you think Sazed's gonna be a villain in the end?
Ooh, is Sazed gonna be a villain in the end? He's not a perfect god.
Oh, you can't do that again.
He's not a perfect god for sure.
Well, yeah, maybe not a villain, but like very flawed.
Oh, he's kind definitely gonna be very flawed. Yeah.
Kind of the enemy though by the end, like not evil. On the opposite side,
something's gonna happen with that, probably. I don't know. There's definitely gonna be like, yeah. It's not gonna be all hunky dory in Harmony Land by the end of this series for sure. Some shit's gonna go down there, and I don't know, like if Sazed will like what Sazed's like arc is gonna be, but it's not gonna be I'm a benevolent god who's trying to do the right thing, guys. I promise.
Well, it could be though, because we know there's other gods. That was the one huge thing that we learned too.
Well, there's some other gods that are coming. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he could keep trying to be his best, but like he can only do so much if there's other gods involved. So not necessarily. If he was the only god that we're gonna get introduced to, then you know that's something that's gonna have to happen.
We've seen that he's not even. He's trying to do his best, but he's definitely making mistakes.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh, of course, yeah, but like whether that's like the plot of the books or just like an interesting tidbit.
Dude, it feels pretty on the nose that like this whole story was basically that Wax was being lied to by God to get him to influence him to do the things that he wanted him to do. Like that's a pretty insanely major plot point. If that gets brushed aside as not like a really important like philosophical detail that is like the main focus of like the next two books, I will personally be pretty disappointed and also pretty surprised because I don't think that would happen.
I agree it's gonna be part of it, but I'm just saying like whether Zed ends up being like the main villain or something.
No, like, he won't be a main.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think.
I'm sure it's gonna be part of the conversation. I don't know about you guys, but the summaries I pulled up on Coppermind it does it in parts, so that's pretty great. No, but they're in parts. That's perfect. Let's do part 1, part 2, or part 3. Like instead of chapter by chapter, they're by part.
Really? I don't see that.
One I have, yeah.
I don't see that.
I'm on Coppermind, Shadows of Self.
The summary.
Oh yeah.
I
have that.
Yeah,
summary. I have both the chapter by chapter and that. I see both of them.
Oh yeah, you can see both. Do you guys want to like part by part? Maybe that would be better. I'm down to do that. That's like a compromise.
Where's the part by part summaries? I'm not seeing it.
It was the second link for me after looking up chapter summaries. So
maybe it's the first one. Shadows of Self, Coppermind. Oh yeah. Let's do that. Pretty cool. I see. Yeah, those ones are a lot smaller too.
Yeah. Sorry, was there anything else
about chapter 1 though with the auction? Yeah, the auction house.
Oh, that was actually a pretty sick one. I think he did a good job of making it enough of like a mystery at the beginning as to what the fuck's happening. Like it was pretty well set up that like
it was good.
What the hell?
That was tense, man. The tension was real in that room. It's a cool premise.
And the Conjure was such a big part of this book. It's just like all constantly there. Like the main thing in this book was Conjure. It was just like I forgot the Conjure were a thing starting this book.
Yeah, because what Sazed basically like granted them their lives back.
Yeah.
After they killed themselves.
That was pretty fun. They're like, man, we just hang out to the pub. You know, we don't come to our homeland. Just meet at the bar.
This place is fucked. Look how creepy it is out here. Like, what the? I don't want to be here.
Yeah. It's like multiple times that was referenced. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. The end of the book was just like this series of any of the Brandon stuff, I feel like would be like the best movie. Maybe not the best movie, but the most like the easiest to adapt to a movie form.
Feasible, yeah.
Like Stormlight would be like Lord of the Rings level movies, but these like Mistborn would be like just like a really solid action flick.
Yeah, especially with the crowds and like the fire torches. That'd be.
Yeah, I mean, especially these two books and Mistborn 1 would be good.
Yeah,
would be feasible.
I'm just thinking of like one of the big things I'm thinking about is like how much symbolism you could put into like the scene, like with music happening of like him climbing up through the pit at the end of the book, and it's climbing up through the pits of Hatson.
The Dark Knight Rises, you know.
That was pretty baller, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. In the midline, like or Tensoon turning back and be like, oh, he put the fungus here for a reason, and then like his eyes adjust. It seemed like he was chilling.
So good, yeah.
Make sure no one is in the dock again down here.
Zed did that.
So good.
Fungus.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't want to do the part 1. Read.
You guys go ahead. I don't want to speak too much.
Alan, go for it, buddy.
You good with me reading it all? Because it's not that long, and it's
go
for the whole part.
It's pretty short.
Part 1: A year after the capture and execution of Miles 100 Eyes, Wax and Steris plan for their wedding. Wax works as a special constable. Wayne barges in and reports that an infamous thief has been spotted, and they give chase with Marassi, who is also working with the constabulary, now as an assistant to the Constable General Aradel. The criminal is known as the Marksman and has styled himself as a Robin Hood figure. They chase the Marksman into the slums, and Wayne uses some clever disguises to hunt him down. The Marksman is captured but almost immediately killed by an assassin before the group can bring him in. They are called away to investigate another incident, this one the murder of the brother of the governor and a whole bunch of criminals and shady nobles in his home. It appears to be the work of a frugamist. This is a good way of like capture, like we see like what they've been doing in the meantime, like capturing random like side villains, and then they get immediately brought into something big while also like starting the plot of the whole because he sees his former enemy that killed held Lessie in the first book.
Yeah,
Bloody Tan. He sees Bloody Tan. So this is a good way of introducing that and like kind of here's like what's happening. Like flash forward like 6 months. This is where we're at now or whatever.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It felt very like by the numbers, but I liked it quite a bit.
You could see the film playing out from this point.
Like, literally, yeah.
Yeah. and
it did play out like that, except for like a couple interesting twists, you know, which I respect that.
The terrace, like little terrace area.
That was an interesting little terrace subculture.
The terrace village.
Yeah, yeah, the random ball. That's neat.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Wax with like his double heritage, trying to navigate that with his grandmother.
Like, I don't know, reminded me of my grandma in a lot of ways. It's just, like the strictness, like so disrespectful. Like,
It's funny.
yeah,
Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's part 2, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's part 2. Haven't gotten there yet. Anything else on part 1? I guess I really like the Wayne scene, of course, and talking with the homeless people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one, dude. All the Wayne scenes are just so good. Wayne is
Yeah, when he's impersonating someone,
insane.
it's
Yeah, how well of a written character
incredible.
he is. I think like he so easily could have been like fucking what's his face, from the last series we read,
Breeze.
Brother Longfoot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Brother Longfoot.
Oh,
Like,
Brother Longfoot?
Wayne so
Yes.
easily could have been Brother Longfoot, but like
I
he's
think
just
if,
written
Yeah.
so
I think
much
if
better.
Wayne was the main character, it would be unbearable
Oh,
because
you
he has
think?
like, yeah. I think it's like perfect the amount of time he's in the book.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree too. I don't know if I'd say, yeah, I don't think he's really
Unbearable
the
is a
main
strong
character,
word.
but I do think that like he's so much more interesting when you get his perspective. Whereas like, you see him from the outside, like when you're getting someone else's perspective of Wayne, it's always a lot more. He's a lot more frustrating. But when it's his part, I never am like frustrated ever. I'm like, this is sick. Like, and your thoughts are cool, and you're like, yeah, awesome. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the only counter I'd
dude.
say to like being his book would be like be him. You know, like it's
Yeah.
you
If
just get
it was
those
his
good
book, I
parts.
feel like it'd be like too much internal dialogue, and then you'd have to play it down.
Yes,
It's a lot of
I don't
the
think it would
lots,
work that
like,
well.
dude, Wayne is like Ham if we had Ham, more Ham parts.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
because we
This
only
is-
saw the outside.
This is Brandon's redemption of shafting Ham in Mistborn. Is Wayne is now the second main character in this one.
Yeah.
There you
Except
go.
that Ham was like
Finally heard.
everyone just roasted him from the outside,
Yeah.
so we never got to see him his own
A lot of people
perspective.
roast Wayne.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never got to
A lot of
see his
people roast
perspective.
Wayne.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. I actually
I like that take.
like, dude, I loved Wayne's, like, when he went into the when he tried to sneak into the university to go give the daughter the money.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Oh my
like that
god.
scene was just so, it tugged at your
so
heartstrings too. It's just like,
incredible.
yeah, it's really
That was
rough.
insane.
Eh?
That was such a good, that was a dense scene.
Yeah, that was really good.
Like
Wayne.
this book really makes you think, like, or really like, it really makes you question like what is just, what are just laws, like what is justice, what does it mean for like the like justice to be doled out by select few people, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, I think it does a really good job of examining all those in interesting ways, like with like that Wayne thing. Like, should Wayne be free right now? Like, he kind of skirted the rules a bit to get out of it, but you know, he's trying to do his best. I don't know, it's like it's not like a clear cut answer, right?
Yeah, and I love that part when Wayne and Wax have interaction, and Wayne's like, "Why didn't you just kill me? Like I'd murdered all these people," and he's like, "Just weren't holding a gun at that time. Like you were, if you were holding a gun, you would have been killed." Like,
Yeah.
but that's the reason. It did come down to like luck a bit, and yeah, they addressed that, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I think that was the end of last book.
Everyone's glad that he's around now, right?
Yeah.
So
Everyone gets a second chance. A lot of it is luck, but you're here now, so make the best of it.
what else happens here? Part 1.
Not much. Part 1 was pretty quick. Like, it was almost, like, I'd say like at least 2/3 of the book is part 2.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
Should we move on to part 2 then?
let's do it.
Yeah, I just like the one part where he's talking with it's just it's not a point of discussion really. It's just a point that when Wayne's talking with like the homeless people, and they're like, oh, they would never like sell out this person, but like they will like threaten to
Give him up if he doesn't help them out. Yeah, exploit
yeah,
him.
yeah, like this like the weird code, and it's all like just like common knowledge. That was funny.
Yeah. All right. I'll do part 2.
Good. That was a good conversation. Sweet.
Ellendale is in a state of unrest. Food prices and unemployment are incredibly high. The people are tired of the corruption in the noble-controlled government. Not at all reminiscent of Mistborn Part 1. And working conditions for those who are employed are poor and unsafe. An assassination attempt is made on the governor. Harmony talks directly to Wax through his earring, not reminiscent of Mistborn Era 1 at all, and asks for help in finding Palm, a Khandra who calls herself Bleeder and who is causing havoc in the city. Wax and the gang go to Lady Zobel's party to try to find her. He starts hearing her voice in his head while he wears his earring. Palm wants to free the people of the city from Harmony, and he chases a man playing the part of a server, but loses him in the mists. He instead walks into an ambush of set operatives, but he gets some help from Milan, a Khandra with massive titties who has been sent from Harmony to help them. We'll stop there, I think, and we can chat a bit more, and I'll go on to the next bit later, yeah.
I loved the frickin' Zobel's party, the whole sequence. It was so good. Like,
Yeah,
Steris and Wax banter in the carriage before being like, it's 8:34 p.m. I predicted that. He's like, oh, you said we'd be here by 8:37. You're slipping. It's like, traffic was a little bit better than I thought. And they she's like planned for him to fly into the party.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. She's really working hard.
Written, yeah.
She's working hard in this relationship, way harder than Wax is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like Wax is working he's not really trying, but he's just indifferent. Sarah's working really hard, and everyone else doesn't want it to happen. It's yeah,
including the readers. No one wants it, but it's theirs.
I don't know. I'm down now. I like Steris.
Steris is baller as fuck. I like her quite a bit.
Yeah, it's coming on. I don't know. I'm sure from a story point of view, but I still think with who you love, not just for political arrangements. It's
gonna happen, bro. It's progressing, bro. It's progressing.
Yeah, but you gotta remember that one Wayne point.
Where but there's
that he brought up
no attraction.
Yeah,
well, it's a lack of emotion. Completely emotionless relationship.
Well, from Wax's perspective, right? He's still in love with Leslie. He hasn't let go of Leslie, right? And Wayne's basically just there was one comment Wayne made that basically just explained the whole thing, where he's like, oh yeah, I guess it was a side thought he had where he's just yeah, oh yeah, Wax is just emotionally detached from this whole thing, and he's using it to cope.
That was so good.
Other women.
Yeah, that was so good. It's what the very beginning when they got. I think this is the part you're referring to. At the very beginning when they get in when they call Wax for the first chase, and they get in the car with Marassi and Wayne.
Yeah,
they just call them out so hard, destroy them. And both of them, both Marassi and Wayne, just say exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That was part 1, but yeah, I remember this.
No, that was a great part.
Why are you so grumpy? It's not like you're regretting something, a major life decision.
No, there's another part after that where Wayne was basically it was an internal dialogue with Wayne. That also was really funny, but it also calls him out fully on it. But this one was him basically just being reflecting on himself. It's oh yeah, Wax is just off doing his thing, being emotionally unavailable and trying to ignore all of his problems.
Taking the easy way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, man. Wayne's just the savage Jaceres in the whole situation.
Yeah. Wait,
I like
why does
that
Sarah
interaction
not...
with Wayne and Jaceres. That was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very unlike Wayne.
He doesn't like her.
What does he
at
do?
all.
Doesn't
I don't
like
get
the
it.
walking in the house with the shoes?
No, he just lays it down to Steris. He's like, you're like a disgusting person. You disgust me. That one part.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't really know why.
No.
Like
That's
that
so
kind of
really
felt out
funny.
of left field to me.
It did. It did. I'm only giving it if it's gonna get explained in the next book, but that was really random.
I agree.
The
I
other
did find that very odd.
Yeah. The other thing I quite liked about this book is that like all the events take place over the course of one night.
Oh yeah, that's
Like the
that's
whole
actually
book.
like
The whole book is one day.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that.
It's one day and a bunch of days for Wax. Since the last book, this has been every day.
Yeah.
It's a little more intense than one day than having your wife that you thought was dead come back to life and then die again. That's pretty sad. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Can also be Condra.
Pretty sad. But yeah, and she was not your race or like your species.
Yeah.
Her body.
We get shirts that say "Wax and Bleeder Forever" with a big heart.
Wax and Bleeder, bro. Dude, that's like major spoilers, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were talking about it right now.
Some niche shirt right there.
It's a niche shirt.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, major spoilers for other people.
Yeah. Dude, that's like walking around like with a shirt. It's like Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that.
You don't know already.
Okay, it's not
Get
that.
the fuck out of here.
I was when I said that I was gonna be like
Darth Vader and Luke. Is there a connection there? Like that? That's like be a question mark. You don't know. You don't know unless you know. Yeah. With the Wax and Lassie forever.
That's why this one's worse because it's more recent.
Yeah.
This is worse.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. If I saw a shirt like that, I definitely wouldn't make the connection that was freaking Lessie. I don't think. Maybe a little sooner. Like maybe I don't know what I think of that shirt. Man.
Okay, wait. Did any of you guys?
You'd have to have started reading this book and not finished it.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just thinking if I saw that shirt and then I started reading it and I like remembered the shirt and I like the whole way through the book I was thinking of that shirt. I don't know what I would be thinking. Like,
did you guys see it coming?
Lessie thing.
No.
No, I didn't. I'm so stupid.
I don't think I don't feel bad about it either. Like I feel like there wasn't really any like things that we could have like hacked onto that would have told us that.
I don't know. I'd have to look back at the exact.
Like I didn't feel stupid about it. Like Rylan, you mentioned you felt stupid about it. I'm like, dude, there was like nothing.
Well, I think there's a chance though that you're like, oh well, I figured it out here, and before that it wasn't obvious, but like I figured it out so like when it was very explicitly said, you know, like it wasn't like
same. There was nothing up until that point really.
No, I'm pretty sure like the chapter before wasn't that when she's like, "Oh, I love you, Wax."
And she started to get sauce at that point, but that was the chapter before though. That was the chapter before.
That was like literally the chapter before. Even
but that's
if you got it
something.
at the same point, even if you got it there, like you wouldn't have.
As soon as she was wearing Leslie's stuff, and then you could like. That's when we should have freaking known because
but that's all like could have been mind games,
dude. Even then, it could have been mind games. Like I thought it was mind games that he was that.
I know, but fair enough. But then like the whole time it was a big plot hole that like, okay, why the fuck isn't she killing Wax? Like this is stupid. You know what I mean? Like that was like a thing, and like you could tell there was this like, he kept saying like, why do you care about me? And like there was this like, what would have made sense? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Bro, if you came out and you were like, okay, Lessie is actually a Kandra who is the main villain of this book, and she comes back and then she exposed she's actually his wife the whole
I
time.
know, it is so weird. It's
Like
so weird.
if you made that prediction, like you're from the future, bro, or you read ahead.
Yeah.
One of
I
those
know,
two.
I'm
Possible.
I'm talking
Equally
about
possible. Yeah.
yeah, it would have been pretty late, but and yes, it's just so crazy that it's. But I mean, I'm voting for. I wish they wouldn't have killed her. I wish she wouldn't have died. Sorry. I wish they could have been together. So sad. Anyways, we can get to that after. But
Yeah. That would be like Vin becomes reincarnated in the next book and then becomes the savior of the world again. And like I just said that right now and I totally haven't read that.
Yeah.
Levels of like
All right, mark it down.
predictions.
all right, should start saying like the craziest
In a
takes.
parallel universe,
Craziest
someone
ideas.
watching this video is freaking out right now for that prediction. But okay, what else happened in this part?
I feel like we talked mostly about other parts.
Yeah, I just can't remember what happened in this part from the summary. So much stuff happened.
What did you guys think of Milan? She was pretty funny.
She's really
Yeah,
good.
her start was good. Good. She got like weird. I thought she got pretty weird. Like, she's a super weird character, man.
Very fun character. I thought.
Yeah, just super odd. Like, did not expect that. Like, some parts, I was like, "What the hell? Who is this person? Who is this Kandra?" Like the burping with Wayne. I'm like, "What the heck's going on here?"
Yeah, they really were playing up that she's kind of like not part of the human world and wants to like be what's the word, like included kind of, but she's also really like weird and quirky in her own way.
Like weird and quirky and part of the young generation of Kandra.
Yeah, like I feel like that was really played up like a lot. I
She
feel
had
like
a
she
lot
was
of good,
definitely
a
very
lot of
stereotypical.
moments with Wayne, like with the accent, like
Yeah.
mimicking. Yeah, this is not in this part as well, but
but when we first saw Milan, great part. Love the little banter between her and Steris. I don't even know if there was banter, if it's just Steris being angry, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird move by Milan approaching him. I mean, like
Yeah.
flirting with.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
All right, I'll open up the next little bit of part 2. As the evening progresses, more events stoke the unrest, threatening to throw the city into complete chaos. Palm dresses as a Pathian priest and murders a survivorist priest to sow religious discord. She makes an attempt on the governor's life again, but Wax gives chase and she escapes. He finds evidence that she's been in the Kandra homeland, so he goes there and meets Tensoon. They are both attacked by savage beasts. People transformed into an unknown hemalurgic construct. Oh, interesting description there. Wax figures that this was all a distraction and hurries back to try to protect the governor.
Oh man, this is in part 2. It's like the
dude,
whole book.
I
Right
was
there.
literally.
Yeah.
I know. It's like literally the whole book.
Yeah. Man, I feel like we're missing so much shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna go scan the chapter summaries and see if I can find anything that's interesting.
I'll join you on this venture. Ellen venture.
Yeah, I quite liked Aradel as a character. Like Aradel was a great.
Oh yeah,
such a cool.
Like
yeah.
What a solid cast for this book, man.
Dude,
honestly,
yeah, just a great cast of characters. They're all look super cool.
Yeah, there's like the whole police station interactions with Marassi and like the office politics.
Yeah, I
with
quite like
Ariel.
that. Yeah.
That was a good. Added a lot of character development opportunity for Marassi there,
Mhm.
and also being like the internal conflict about being like kind of like a spy for the police station. She found out for Airedale, she was like very conflicted about.
Yeah.
But also, I think Airedale
Airedale
legitimately respects her, and she knows
Oh,
that
for
as
sure.
well.
I think,
Cool. So
yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys think it was a legitimate hire, or do you guys think it was because of the connection to Wax?
Definitely a
Kinda
legitimate
doesn't-
hire.
yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense that she would just be hired for that one thing. But
She was 100% a legitimate hire. Like she's got all the skills, like 100%, and she's better at it than like every time
I'm gonna guess
Airedale
50-50.
every time Airedale would like talk to her, he gave like 100% legit reasons why she was a better pick over the other guys.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know. Just think of her lack of experience. I think the connection with Wax would have really tipped it off, but
I don't know. Experience is overrated, I think.
I agree. But back in this day and age,
Yeah.
well, it was her lack of experience that he said was one of the reasons. Like
Yeah.
experience in the like the normal path of progression.
she's doing great. And yeah, I thought Erdell was great. A little too like he was pretty perfect, wasn't he? I don't know. Wasn't he a little perfect?
He was a good guy, I guess. I don't think he was like super
Yeah.
perfect. Like he made some. Oh, maybe he kind of was a bit. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
man,
hard.
Mystery
It's hard
Lessons.
to
Like,
say.
that's fine.
This book's
That's what I
kind of
wanted.
Batman. This book's kind of like Batman. It's like he's
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon, and like Gotham City is this city. Bro. It's like falling apart.
Dude,
Politicians are taking over everything.
basically.
True. Yeah. Yeah, just a bunch of times where I thought he was gonna go classic, like Erdell, shut up, like stop talking about this stuff. Like I don't want to hear it. Like we all know, and like but he's like, whoa, no, really? And then he's like actually looking into it and really concerned, and he actually does something about it. I was like, that guy's like a little too good, a little too, a little too straight nosed. No, like I liked him. That's what I wanted the whole time when I was reading it. I wanted him to be a good dude. But
Yeah, he's just like the
bit
good dude
surprised.
side character.
Yeah, but he's now the fucking governor.
yeah,
Yeah,
The good guy police takeover.
good call. So he's instantly getting assassinated in the next book.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved all the Wayne playing with his gum the whole time. I remember he did some trick in one of the rooms where he was like stacking cups or some shit, and then used the gum to stick it, and then it was like Wax was like,
yeah.
he always tries to cheat, and the game is seeing whether I find it or not.
Yeah, that was a cute little bot like moment.
That was a throwback to the Way of Kings, bro, with Yalb. In the first city that Shallan and Yalb go to.
Oh
and
my
he's
god!
like, the game is not. They know that I'm cheating. The game is to figure out how I'm cheating. They need to figure it out.
Right.
Like,
Dude, that actually is a throwback. I had forgotten about that. I can't believe you remembered that. Holy shit!
Yalb's a remarkable dude.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I love that part. I love the relationship. It's so odd. It's not like a classic relationship, but it's good. And there's a couple moments there in the books where you see like they're actually like really tight, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I just do it because I want to see when Wax is gonna call me out. I'm like, oh, cute.
Yeah.
That was a good.
They've
bar
just got
meeting.
such good banter. Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, not too much Wax and Wayne banter in this book.
There
overall.
wasn't too much. Yeah, they were pretty separated for most of the book, honestly. Like they weren't really together for a lot of it.
Very much felt like it was Wayne time when it was Wayne time, and it was Wax time. It was like the tone completely shifted for both of them. So
yeah, it's weird though. It did, but I didn't feel like I was getting like yanked back and forth.
That's true. I didn't feel that either.
Like it felt quite smooth tonally, I thought. except for that one bit in the middle with the bar. Like it was like,
Yeah.
like what the
Yeah.
fuck is this part? I remember like halfway through reading it, and I'm just like, what am I reading? Like what happened? And then it all clicked into place what was going on, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But like that was really weird.
So that was in this part. That was so good.
Yeah. Did you guys
Part two.
okay, when he kept seeing Bloody Tan in the crowd, did you think that he was just seeing shit, or that it was like, did you think it was a Condra?
Feel like I was probably just reading and enjoying life, and I was just thinking he was seeing shit. I should have known better though, because it's Brandon Sanderson, and nothing is ever said that doesn't come back later. So
I was pretty
But
sure
yes,
it was a con.
I
Like the
lost
first
it.
time I saw it, or he saw it, I thought he might be seeing things, but I was like, you know what? I bet it's fucking Condra.
I forgot the Conjurer existed, man, until this book.
I was forgetting about the contract. The first time I thought he was seeing stuff. The second time I just didn't know what was going on, but I figured he wasn't just seeing stuff at that point.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he somehow survived or something. I don't know. I forgot about the Condra.
I feel like in the original trilogy, they kind of played down the fact that a Conjurer could be anyone. Because there's all so much crazy shit going on. They're like, okay, whatever, we're not gonna check for this every time we meet someone new. But in this book, they're like, oh my god, dude, it could be anyone. Yo, okay, 10 passphrases per person. Like we're going
Yeah.
hardcore on the shit, bro.
Wait,
like-
Karen, the whole book 2 was like that was the whole plot of book 2.
I know, but they weren't like, give me a
That's true, it's
passcode,
true.
bro. Yeah.
I mean, well, because they already knew someone was already grabbed, right?
That was just such a different vibe because the person wasn't switching
Yeah.
bodies all the time. Like there was one. Like
One
you got the feeling that
person, yeah.
there was one person. The Conjurer wasn't switching.
I don't know, man. I feel like they were just like, well, I remember one of our complaints about the Well of Ascension was that Vin didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
That there was
wasn't.
Conjurer.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like,
it kept being like a
yeah.
side thing that she'd come back to and be like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, right, I have to do this.
Yeah, this person. Yeah.
That was
let me
weird,
do a
man.
little bit of like side mission shit for a bit,
Yeah.
and I'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah. The plot needs to progress in the background for a chapter.
Boy, like,
Take
here I
the
felt
lead
like
for a minute.
the threat was so real in this book. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the focus of like every second sentence.
Someone else moves us, Lawman.
Man.
Honestly, a bit disappointed that she was so cryptic with him. Like there were multiple times where she could have just like revealed her hand, and it would have like turned out way different. But her.
Well, she said,
what if
I should.
She revealed herself.
She said I wanted to. She said I should have came to you sooner, but then you just would have tried to stop me.
I don't think that's true.
What do you mean?
Oh no, like I don't think he would have.
Yeah, he would have. He said if she knows he has only one spike. She thinks she's insane. He thinks she's insane.
Yeah, but like,
and she's killing people. Freaking the guy, the priest stabbing him in the eye. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
He was in some crazy stuff. I think Wax would have not taken her side. I don't even know what would have happened, but like, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have just been like, "Okay, I'm in with you." He would have tried to stop her, or like, he definitely would have tried to stop her, not like detain her, like completely mess her up.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed a bit like she waited until the last second to tell him when she didn't really need to.
Yeah. We don't really know too much about her.
Yeah, like I have a feeling we're gonna get like that she was kind of doing the good thing, and or like she had good intentions and then ended up doing bad stuff from it. But
it's like, how does a creature who's lived for 1,000 years fall in love with the guy and then kill herself because she fell in love with the guy, but also try to end the world at the same time. It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that we realized that she was controlled by an other god.
Yeah.
Or at least getting help by. I don't know what
Probably,
controlled.
dude. I bet she was Odium.
No, I think she's still
Crazy.
a creature that has feelings, man. And like what she had to go through with Wax is pretty messed up and would really make you evaluate. Like it's pretty hard. It's one thing to understand what Zed is doing in the background, and like it's another thing to like be part of his plan, and then like just being like pulled out of it because it's inconvenient now that so to take away the love of your life, you can never see him again just because it's inconvenient, and then the person you love is like completely like the number one puppet. Like I don't know. I understand. I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, the other
She
problem
would
is
go
that
pretty mental.
yeah, the other thing is kind of to your point, but also against it a bit is she was the Lord Ruler's like assassin Kandra for like 1,000 years. It's like she's done crazy fucking shit in that sense. And I feel like my like explanation would probably be like she was doing all that shit because she had to, and then Zed came and was like, "Oh, I'm the good guy," and then he's making her do all this fucked up shit again, and she's like, "I'm not free. I'm just as restricted as I was under the Lord Ruler by Zed," and so she's like, "We have to free everybody," and then she went crazy and got picked
Yeah,
up
how
by
crazy
some
do you
other
think
god's
she
control.
was?
Less crazy than we think.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Like
I think she was that crazy.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be like reasons why.
Like, do you think Zed just made that up?
Which
Like that's
She's
kind of
insane?
random. Like just take out a she's insane. That like if you take a spike out, you go insane. Kind of random.
I don't think it was because it
Not
makes
random, I guess, because it makes sense in terms of like because they become a Mistwraith, which we already got proven in the first trilogy. But like that's such a hack. Like if you don't have the
actually, he
spike,
was lying about that, wasn't he?
well,
That they
maybe it
go
says she needed a second
insane?
spike, but it didn't need to be like. That's why she got that other spike, so she could still be sane. So she probably was fully sane because she had two spikes, but because the spike wasn't one that Harmony recognized,
I,
he
I
couldn't use
remember
it.
the two spike thing from the first trilogy.
Was that a thing where they needed to?
I don't know if they needed to, but they had to, and like the second one gave them a certain attribute,
Yeah.
like extra strength or extra speed or something like that.
Okay, yeah, so this probably is true then. It's just that she got a second one like Harmony couldn't control. That's how she was able to circumvent that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she was going a bit crazy, but I think it was more to do with like her mental situation and probably for like influenced by the other god.
Yeah, she was motivated before she took out the spike.
Yeah.
She just kept falling through.
Exactly.
Probably became more and more rational as she went on.
Yeah. Also, that was a sick fucking conversation with when Wax put in the earring and started talking to Harmony, and he responded, and it was like Harmony's like this is Ed's just fucking talking about all the fucking shit that he had to go through and like how hard it is to be a god. It's a pretty funny one. I quite like that part.
That was good. I thought for sure. I was like, okay, this is the point where we go full like Sanderlanche, and it just becomes like insane lore. Like it zumped on us, but then it slowed down significantly after that.
Yeah, it was very much like this is kind of a lore dump, but also says that it's going to be kind of coy like God. Like I love the the part when Wax was yeah, so it's like a can't interfere kind of thing, and he's like, no, not really that. When he was I
Like
can't
Wax.
remember. Wax basically was like had like some quip reply to him, like asking, like saying, "Oh yeah, because you can't interfere in the things of men, etc., etc." And Sazed was like, "No, it's from like some other reason because I can't control her. I think it was because like she's taken out her spike or something, so I can't control her, etc." I don't know. It was just an interesting conversation. I thought that there was probably room for more Cosmere shit there, but it seemed a bit more bog standard talk to God than
Fun. It was book 1-ish.
yeah.
No, that was cool. I did not expect that.
You
Like the
didn't
long
expect them to
conversation.
just chat with Harmony?
No, it's like a random long chat before he was like not talking to him nearly as much and being a lot more cryptic, and then
Yeah. I guess he needed him.
Another very movie moment.
Yeah, totally, eh? He like puts it back in.
Hey
He's
God,
like,
I wanted to
"Hey
talk to
God,
you.
what's up, bro?"
Hey, how's it
Hey
going?
Wax,
Holy shit!
hey Wax, God, bro. What's popping, bro?
What's up, bro?
instead of an earring, it's a headset. Hey man.
Oh man, can you imagine that in the movie? Just like, oh my God, I'm leaving the theater.
You had really good funding and then it cut out halfway. I'm sorry, bros.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was also pretty funny that Wayne was on like, and Marassi were on like don't let them enter list to get into the party.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Wayne had to dress up as the fucking professor. And
Oh yeah.
And the
and
kid,
That's good.
the kid,
and then the
comes up.
kid came up to him and was like, "You fucking stole my father's inventions." And then afterward, like, so Wayne then sees in that kid exactly like what he did to the girl whose father he shot, kind of. And then at the end, he's like gassing her up. He's like
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
her to. I feel like she's gonna be like in all the. She's definitely gonna have her inventions in the newspaper for the next book, guaranteed. I'm calling that prediction right here.
Good prediction. That's really good. Yeah.
So good. That was such a fun moment.
Yeah, it was cool.
Both those moments.
What were you gonna say, Kieran?
I don't know. Can't remember.
Oh, I really liked well, I think one of the best parts of the book was um that chapter where it was a wax what's it called? Flashback to him with his uncle at the bank.
Oh yeah, that was
And
so good.
and then he's like asking he shows Wax the two people that they're going to lend money to. One of them was like a rich fucking guy, and the other one was like destitute. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll lend it to the rich guy because he can pay it back." And he's like, "No, we'll lend it to both of them because, or no, we'll lend it to both, and then like we'll insure the lower one with the upper one." And no, that's not. I mean, yes, but wrong reasoning because we're basically gonna indebt this guy and all of his family for the rest of his existence. And then Wax goes and tries to stop him by giving him the coin. And then the guy doesn't believe him and then hangs himself 8 years later. It was like, fuck, bro.
Fuck.
That's the kind of
And
world.
in between that, Wax is like, oh, maybe I will become a banker. Like before he learns the real reason, and he's lending to them. He's like, maybe I can do good here.
Yeah.
Just like,
Nope. Yeah, but I feel like that also puts a lot more, like that previous point that we were talking about near the beginning about how like this world is basically the same as like the Lord Ruler's world. Like it's just regressed. Like they're just finding other ways to do it to like exploit people and
subtle.
Use them. Yeah, it's a bit more subtle, but that's almost worse, you know. Like it's a lot easier to get an uprising against like a fucking oppressive government that's explicitly doing bad things. It's a lot harder when it's more insidious and people don't really understand how they're getting screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know though. The Inquisitors were pretty badass. I would be very hopeful if I was on their slums, looking at the Inquisitors just destroying people.
I can just like guys with spikes through their eyes, just
walking around, just demolishing everyone. And their Lord really comes out and just fucking just messes everyone up, dude. Because like he's so powerful, his soothing and stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty hopeless. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I get the point. It's just the Inquisitors aren't here now, so that
it would be a lot easier for our main protagonist to be against that regime.
Yeah.
Unlike Wax, who's like I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. The other
Exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
oh. That was the book. That's all you gotta. That's all you gotta know.
That's the book. Wax just being like, no.
Yep.
Yeah. I quite like the other thing I quite liked in this book was the constant things that like Wax isn't actually you talked about this earlier, but like Wax isn't actually that good. Like he's kind of like a destructive force that they're just kind of trying to control and point in the right direction.
Yep.
Very
good.
Yeah, because I remember I think there was like when he was doing the chase and then he jumped on like the thing to save them from falling in jumped on the car to stop them from driving into like the river. Then afterwards there was like I think there was like a newspaper article of them like complaining that he caused so much damage.
Yeah.
So like it's interesting like how there's all these different perspectives on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
cool. I don't know if it was the same article, but they talk about like because they use the coin shots for like fast deliveries, and they're messing up the whole town.
Yeah.
Right after talking about it. So cool.
Yeah, and then there was
I think articles.
There was one where there was like we'll install aluminum locks in your doors so people can't do and it's like such like a fucking scam because it's like if they could get in so many other ways if you knew anything about like coin shots or anything like
yeah. The newspapers are great. Yeah, but to add on to the
fun ad
to like the Wax thing, like the governor doesn't like him, Aradel doesn't like him, nobody in the constables likes him. I don't know. I felt like a lot of people just didn't like Wax in this book, and that was good. That was a good thing for the series. So.
Yeah. I hope that's definitely going to be like a big part of the next one too. Like I feel like Wax is going to have like a fucking character meltdown where he's like, who the fuck am I, bro, in the next book.
I just hope that I hope this doesn't take the whole book for him to have a meltdown, you know. Like he's having either like I hope it doesn't take till the end of the book for him to have the meltdown, or that he doesn't have the meltdown for the whole book.
Dude, he's gonna have the meltdown.
Get on the Kaladin. Get on the Kaladin moment.
Yeah. Well, Kaladin is Kaladin. Like Kaladin, but Sazed in book 3 was like pretty painful.
Okay,
I agree.
Kind of fair.
I fought that the whole time. I said that the whole time.
Kind of fair, but also I feel like he's going to, and it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, it won't be like that. He's a lot more deep than that already, I think, in that book.
Yeah, the problem with Sazed is that he kind of needed to resolve it at the end, and he kind of needed to be like sulking the whole time, like just due to the plot. Like it needed to be like that. I feel like it would be kind of the same with this, you know, like we're gonna know what happens with him before he does in the next book. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least.
But do you think it's gonna be a lot more interesting though? Obviously.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I wasn't a big detrimenter on the Sazed's like a pain in the ass in book 3 because he just can't get over himself.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, you and I were both like, yeah, Sazed's not that bad, you know. It's just he needs to go through his arc, you know. And then Alan was like the whole time like, this is pretty bad. And then
I was roasting.
At the end of the book, we were all like, yeah, this is pretty bad.
Like, yeah. Well, it's because I roasted it, and then it like every part it just continued. It's got like
didn't change. Like, that's the problem. It's just like he stayed for like parts 1 to 4. He was the same character the whole time.
Yeah, and that's why you guys, because I think I was complaining as of like part 2, and then you guys are like, oh, I don't know, and then part 3 you're like, oh, and then part 4 you're like, oh, fuck, this is actually kind of bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen like that with Wax. It won't. It won't happen like that with Wax.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys? I have a feeling the set is still the what's it called from Stormlight?
The Ghost Bloods?
Yeah, I have a feeling the set's the Ghost Bloods. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
You said that before, but then you took back that take.
Did I? When did
you bring it back on now?
I don't remember him taking that
You're
back.
like, oh, I thought you said like
I think I said I kept
Kinda wanna
waiting
say
for
that.
them to say the blow with ghost buttons, but
Yeah, but then I thought you said something like, but that just doesn't make any sense. I thought you said like followed up with like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Or like you concluded that it wasn't the case. But now,
So
yeah,
know enough.
it
I
does
just don't
seem
know
like
enough about the Cosmere. Like if I was reading these books independently from knowing about the Brandon Sanderson universe, I would definitely not make that prediction. So
yeah, that's fair. I probably wouldn't either, but
it's like, is this story happening at the same time as Stormlight?
I have a feeling or I think it's prelude to it. Stormlight, maybe. Like this
Prelude.
is maybe happening
I
like
could see them being something big. The Ghost Bloods came off like low key a little bit at the beginning, and then and then we like realize how big they are, and that's
I don't
kind of
even
what.
like the Ghost Bloods at all, bro. In Stormlight, it's one of the weakest storylines, in my opinion. But
I mean,
Well, just like a
they're
group that
not
kind of comes off as like
wrong.
a bit threatening, and then they're just like actually like a massive part of the Cosmere.
Yeah. Well, their whole thing is they're trying to they're trying to get access to Stormlight, right?
they want the secrets.
They want to be able to
Universe.
transfer it to other worlds. I don't know. I have a feeling but her having the metal from a different god is going to be a fucking massive plot point for the remainder of this series.
Yeah, it's like,
And it's gonna tie into like other Cosmere shit that we've seen, like 100%.
yeah, that's a pretty safe bet,
Like,
especially with all the like minor spoilers for Bands of Mourning shit.
I almost feel
Okay.
stupid saying it out loud because it's so obvious. But yeah. Yeah. I really liked all the political stuff here too, with like Aradel and them talking about like the political ramifications of doing everything. Like with the governor and just like that whole thing seemed pretty well.
Oh yeah, with like discovering the governor's dealings with other houses.
Corruption
Yeah.
and stuff, and yeah, like I don't know, I felt like he did a good job of exploring those themes in a way that made its point, but also kind of like left it for you to come up like to interpret yourself.
Do you think the governor wrote those, or you think it was another
Plant.
thing by Bleeder, not by Bleeder?
I think he was.
He was corrupt, I think.
Yeah,
Pretty big brain from Bleeder.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that would be better for the plot. But also, Bleeder just is big brain plays, man. That was good.
Oh yeah, the whole like explanation with like killing the other guy, killing the like head bodyguard who was in on it the whole time, so that she could have blood on herself while she was pretending to be the governor. That was crazy. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then writing all those pages in the cave after leaving a little bit of dust on the ground, and then writing all those pages in the cavern.
Why did she do that? By the way,
that was weird
because it was supposed to distract Wax, and then Tenzin's like, oh, if you look, it looks like there's like little bits of information on every page, and you can piece them all together to get something. And he's like, that's exactly what this is, but that's gonna take way too much time. This is all a distraction. And then he like they run away. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I was like, damn, man, this is like
Wax is a bit OP.
nuts, man. Like,
yeah,
like
he's a bit OP.
Yeah, that's so cool. They're like, the only one who can save us is you, Wax. I'm like, come on, guys, Wax isn't that good. And then he's like, Tensu's like, what do we do? And Wax is like, well, he actually has like this
Wax
master.
Oh yeah, I'm
idea.
chosen by God, by the way.
Feels weird having like. It felt kind of weird having Tensoon show up for like that one small part, like this really fast story. But I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
I was more like, oh fuck, it's Tensoon, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
I was like, yo. Was like, yeah.
It was super random.
Because they mentioned him, and I'm like, oh my god, I hope we see him. Because Tensoon was the fucking bomb. What a
He was the best,
god tier
one of the best
character in
parts of
Mistborn.
book
I love
3.
Tensoon. He's so good. I need like a Tensoon fucking
fun.
puppy, but like with like an extractable arm bullet.
The
Like
Sunni pup.
yeah, the Sunni pup.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And then the
That's
end
fun.
just has so much like cool like throwbacks to like when they went into the homeland and it was all like reshaped all of the stuff from Era 1 and it's like the remnants of Critic Shaw like and he's
Yeah,
going
they
through
brought
it.
all the areas of refuge to one spot.
Yeah, it was so sick. Yeah, just cuz like
Cool.
yeah. It was so fan service but also like not in like a bad way. Like it was fan servicey
Yeah,
by
that's
like
what
bringing back all these things, but in like a like we're just gonna like show these for half a second, and it ties in and makes sense, and like yeah, it's just like a cool throwback basically.
Yeah. The most fan service thing was just Tensoon showing up in the first place and not having that big of a part, but he'll be a bigger part later on.
He actually might not be. I feel.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Yeah, I don't know if he will.
I don't think he will. If I'm being honest,
I think
we'll
that's
see, but
mixing too much with the original trilogy.
I
Like
think
it's kind of like
Milan
its
is gonna
own.
be more the one. That
Yeah,
we're
I kind of like
excited.
that. I like Milan as a new character. So
Yeah.
I thought the part when he like, I was kind of disappointed when he's in the cave with Tensoon and he's looking at all those papers and he's like, oh, if Bleeder thought she was being controlled and she wouldn't want to be controlled anymore. That's why she's doing this. I was like, okay, I thought we already knew that. Like he was having this big realization about like why Bleeder wants to like break free from Harmony, but it's like I thought that was the whole time we already knew this. I was confused.
I thought the realization at that point was that like the Khandra coming out of their hiding spots was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
That was a big revelation they had down there.
Yeah, that was a big revelation. I thought it was unrelated. That was just part of the plan she was having.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm
It
gonna try to
definitely
find
came
that
If
part.
that was the revelation, I agree that was a bit lame. But I don't remember that being like I don't remember coming
Big
to that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was played out more like over like a few pages,
Mhm.
but it was like very much like Tensoon. Like, did Bleeder ever try to, or like did Harmony ever take control of Bleeder when she didn't want to be controlled? He's like, oh yes, that happened one time. He's like, oh my god, she doesn't like being controlled.
Okay,
It's like,
yeah, I actually do remember that. Yeah.
It's like- yeah. And I was like, really, guys, man, that's. Then it's like, and I don't know, she's a good character though. After that, it got a lot more complex. So
Yeah. The one thing I will say about these short stories is because they're so short, it feels like there's not a lot of room for like plot twists. But it's also kind of comforting in the same way that you know what's gonna happen, kind of.
yeah,
Or like you know where the
can't be.
story's going. Because like I feel like there's both like with this book and the previous book, there are both points where I'm like over halfway through and I'm like, oh okay, so I know what the rest of this book is gonna be. I feel like I don't get that often with other books. Like it could be anything that kind of happens near the end or in the second half, but like there's only so much room to do. Like the conclusion to this is going to be the fight, etc. With like getting Milan. She's the story, and like this political conflict is going to be the resolution, etc. But what do you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely quite simple. It's quite well. I just think that it comes
Not as
down
much
to
as
that's pretty simple.
not as much as the first book in the series, but I feel like in that one from like chapter 3, I could tell where it was going.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is a normal book one. Last book was like,
Which was nice. I mean, especially after like our previous series, Last Argument of Kings, couldn't have asked me what would happen in that book for the entire time. So
Dude, you just brought me back to that for a second, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that ending was so whack. Fucking Bible.
Yeah.
Jeez. What a
craziest.
dude.
Oh, yeah, that's in a different category of books. Those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rylan, do you want?
I'm up next for choosing books.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh shit.
Do you want to take part
On
two?
And
fiction.
Kieran, I'll take part 3. And yeah, Kieran said he wants to take a nonfiction book for me, so I can choose fantasy. You can take back that, like you can take that back, Kieran.
Yeah,
if you want.
I'll consider it. I'll definitely consider it.
Up to you. I'm good. I'm stoked. I'm happy either way, honestly.
See.
As long as nonfiction lives on. Even if it's 1 in every 10 books.
Anthropocene reviewed too. Okay. Back.
Yeah.
Part 3. Should we go on to part 3?
The governor is preparing to speak to the mob gathered around the mansion, and Wax realizes that the governor is really Bleeder. Wayne had already figured that out, but had gotten himself captured. Bleeder flees and Wax catches up to her on a bridge. She removes her mask and reveals the face of Leslie. Wax shoots her with a special bullet, a bullet forged from his earring, allowing Harmony to gain control over Palm again. She chooses to die instead and reveals that she was Leslie all along. She had been sent by Harmony to watch for Wax. Wax is furious at Harmony for making him kill her a second time. Meanwhile, at the mansion, Milan's attempt to impersonate the governor doesn't go well, but Aradel arrests the governor for corruption, promising the crowd that more arrests of nobles to be made to clean up the corruption. The city is preserved and Aradel becomes interim governor.
Pretty whack ending.
Huge triple plot twist. Palm was not Leslie after all. It was a huge play just to ruin Wax his life at the end of the book.
That would be crazy.
Possible, it's possible.
And that would just destroy him. I don't even know how he comes back from that.
No.
How do you come back from that?
Because
it's over.
Because Harmony and Tensoon said that it was true as well, right?
Yeah, no, I know. I think Kieran's just joking. Okay. I'm just saying, like, how do you? I don't know how Wax comes back from that. Like, that's just,
that was true.
Yeah. I don't understand. What the hell? Like your love of your life, you killed twice. You know, you killed, and it was all part of Harmony's plan both times. Like, and like, so the love wasn't even true in the first place. It was all part of a grand master plan. Like, and it was a Condra you're in love with. Like, just
it was true.
It was true love, but it's a Condra, and it was fake at first. And it turned into something real.
Yeah.
It's good that it was true at one point, though. If it was fake the whole time, it would.
I don't know. I don't know if you could do something more phasing to a person than what happened to him.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty hard to beat that. Like, it's pretty hard to get that more fucked up.
Yeah.
And then, like, everything he was fighting against was Leslie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah.
So now he's gonna read into it so much more, everything that she did, and like, she's just gonna. That's insane. So brutal. Hard times coming for Wax.
Yeah, and he's like lost his faith in God, in Harmony.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
I think the stuff around Wax and Leslie, I wasn't as into as I was the rest of the book.
I agree.
Kind of like you said, like we knew what was going to happen, basically, to the rest of the city. So the rebellion was quelled. Aradel gets made the governor. Chilling.
Yeah, back to the status quo, kind of, honest, like, but not like a
kind of. Aradel's a good dude.
Better guy.
Do you think Marassi was gonna slaughter that Soother and Ryder? I thought that was gonna happen. And then she didn't. I was like, oh, of course she wouldn't do
What?
that. But like,
No.
it just
What?
No,
Why
I
would you
think-
think she was going to? Jesus Christ, no.
I don't know, man. Just doing the Wax and Wayne like vibes. I don't know, or like Mistborn, or like I don't know, our last book series. I'm just like doing it like
Last book
savages,
series,
man.
yes. She would-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jeez, that would've been
I don't
fucked
know,
up.
man.
No.
Well, they were like manipulating the crowd to like. They were, completely. That was awful what they were doing. They completely deserved it.
Definitely, bro. For sure.
I don't know,
for
man.
sure.
I was 100. I was so certain. I was like, he's just gonna.
That's
Just
the
gonna
most
go. I
random.
didn't like. I don't know, man. I I wasn't like, oh, she's just gonna like just like. Then when she's like, oh, I'm not gonna kill you guys. And then I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh wow. Damn.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting that what's his face, the uncle, thinks that he's basically Kelsier and his crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's just using that as like manipulation.
But
The uncle thinks
it
he's
almost
Kelsier,
is kind of the case. Like,
Do we know their true
Except-
motives?
no, we don't really, except like
No, so we don't know.
overthrowing the current state of things. Which is I don't
Causing
know. Like
general
Kelsier
mayhem.
wasn't necessarily like a good guy.
He wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
But definitely,
We understood his
definitely
motives more.
Yeah.
yeah, his motives are more self-centered, but he still understood that the Lord Ruler being killed was probably a good
The
thing.
most important thing, basically, yeah.
Whereas, like, his uncle is just like a savage person. So
His self-sacrifice there. Pretty big,
Yeah.
big play by Kelsier to make him look like a good dude.
but he became God, though. He became God to a large part of the population.
Do you know that though? I guess yeah, that's why he did it. But yeah,
Yeah. I don't know if it says anything about the next book. Like literally the last thing that happened in this book was Wax sitting by a fire, like crying his eyes out. Like the next
No,
book
it's
is just
just-
gonna be him in just absolute fucking emotional and mental, just like who the fuck am I? What am I doing? Like what?
Yeah, but then
I wonder if him and Marassi are gonna
Okay.
distance quite a bit.
Maybe I wouldn't be like super surprised if Wax and Marassi end up getting together by the end of the series.
Really? I'd be sick if it was like, why doesn't he just have her as his freaking mistress? I guess Marissa, she wouldn't want that, but I mean, it's in the contract.
It's in the
I don't know, man. He's never,
Dude, it's
never
gonna
really
come
been.
back. Actually, it has to come back, and Marassi has to. Like, there's no way that gets put in the fucking book, and Brandon doesn't refer back to it at some point. And like,
Oh, I don't know. That's
dude,
Is-
you said that, and
isn't he into
immediately I'm
polygamy?
like, huh?
Or is he into? Is Brando into like polygamy?
Doesn't-
I don't know.
No, but he does like to be representative, you know.
Bro, I don't know. Team Steris, bro. I'm on Team Steris now.
Dude, it's gonna be Steris and Wayne are gonna end up getting together, and
Oh my god,
dude,
that's
he's literally the
that's
driver.
God.
He's the horse driver.
Jeez.
He's the horse driver, bro. Remember? She mentioned that as like the carriage rider.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, dude. There's gonna be like the end of the series is gonna be like them swap. It's totally gonna be that. If it's
Oh
not,
my
I will
that might
eat.
happen.
I will eat my
that
goddamn
is the most
sock
like cheese
if that
predictable.
doesn't
Like
happen.
It's gonna happen.
the two
predicted
people
it.
who hate each other. Oh
Dude,
my
I'm gonna,
she
I'm gonna
hates-
ask
yeah,
my
'cause
mom right
she
now
hates him.
after this podcast.
Exactly,
when
bro.
that happens, and I'm gonna look at her face and see what her
No,
reaction
No,
is.
bro, you
Yeah.
can't do that. You can't do it. You can't.
Oh, that's perfect. He acts like awful to her, and that's just.
I know that's just such a trope, man. I don't want it to happen like
No,
that.
but it's because he actually likes her. In the end, you know.
Yeah,
In
and
the
the
end,
worse
okay.
Steris is to Wayne, the better for him. He loves that.
Right. He loves that shit.
Alright.
Maybe you're onto something. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
this is such a fucking fun book. Like, I'm so happy
That's a
that
good
this
book.
book series is good. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
as
really
epic.
good.
It's not as epic as Mistborn, but I feel like this is like almost better
Oh.
written. You know, like it definitely feels like he's evolved his
Tighter.
writing. It's so much tighter. It's so much tighter. Yeah.
And like I feel like
Say
he's
not as
achieved
epic as
exactly what he
Stormlight,
wanted
but
to based on his like
Mm.
messages at the start of the books.
Yeah. Like
It's
this
like I
is
wanted this to be like
executed
a
so well.
fast-paced, action-packed, like short, just fun series, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. No, it's sick. I really like it. It's good. It's good.
Bands of Morning Boys. We're getting into the weeds
Oh
here.
boy.
Cosmere.
Oh boy.
Let's go.
We're gonna do some. Oh my god. Chapter X.
Oh yeah, in the chat.
Chat.
the classic.
Just like, oh shit.
Yeah. I feel like the last time that happened was that happened a couple times in Mistborn for sure. But like I remember specifically chapter 120.
Chapter
From
fucking 120, dude, in
Oathbringer.
Oathbringer. That was such a nuts chapter, man.
The only time I remember is when I did it like, as a fake, just like 10 minutes after we.
Oh yeah.
That
we
is so
stopped the
funny.
podcast.
Yeah, I was like 10 minutes
I
after
do
the
remember
podcast.
chapter.
Oh wait, bro. Yeah.
That's the time I remember. But yeah, I do remember the chapter 120. They all freaking out and saying you got it. Once you read it, you'll know.
Once you'll read it,
Okay.
you know.
Highs and lows.
Oh, do it.
Let's go.
Low was the prologue, and my high was the flashback scene with his dad.
Nice. Nice. Good picks.
Or his uncle. His uncle. Ryland's high is gonna be a Wayne scene.
No.
Yes, it was.
Oh no,
Yes,
no.
It is. I know it. I read your mind, bro.
No, I think it might be just the thing comes to mind is the twist, man. Her being Lussie at the end there really got me. That was emotional.
Still processing that, bro. Still processing that, man. I can't even.
That was insane. That was so good.
Yeah.
And so upsetting. You just did Wax so wrong. Like that was so savage. That was so savage.
Yeah.
And then like it just confirmed that like that was all part of the plan. Like him killing her the first time was all part of the plan. Like that's why that happened. Like he must have moved the bullet or something. Yeah. It makes it happen again. That was a big W. That was a huge. That was a good moment. That was
I'm
pretty
thinking
big.
about it in the very first prologue of the first Wax and Wayne book. Is like she moves her head suddenly at the last second and hits the bullet. Fucking Harmony, bro. What an asshole.
Yeah.
No. She like. Did she move her head or something happened?
She probably killed herself there, like intentionally. Put her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought the bullet moved. I thought like he's like this is a shot I've never missed, but then like I don't know if she actually moved.
No, it was.
But I thought he was like really shook.
Buddy Tan dragged her in front of the bullet. Was the
I thought she moved.
What?
Suddenly.
That was what was said.
I'm gonna look back.
That's what was said, or at least that was Wax's interpretation of what he saw.
I thought he made the shot. He shot, and obviously, like in a situation like that, there's a chance you're gonna miss.
No, it was
like
it was
he's holding her
Bloody
hostage.
Tan dragged her in front of the bullet. Was supposedly.
Look at here.
Was supposedly what Wax thought happened, at least. Also, the Ars Arcanum, I'm pretty sure, was exactly the same as the first book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it this time. Saw all the things you mentioned last time. You say hello?
Yeah, Wax fired in the same instant Tom yanked Leslie to the right.
Oh yeah.
Shot broke there, echoing Leslie's head jerk back.
Okay, so he did move her. Okay.
That was all even more play of a play than it's probably 2 Condra. What the hell? I guess you know how messed up Wax
Oh,
is right
everything
now?
is Conjure now.
You know how screwed up he is now. He's thinking about all these things. He's done, man. He's just gonna hang himself with the
Yeah,
next
he's
book.
fucked. It's
first
over.
first chapter. He's so Wax is gone. It's just Wayne now.
Oh god.
You're low, Rylan? You have one?
You haven't even said you're high or low, have you?
Oh, I thought we were doing both together.
I did
Oh,
mine.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I'm working on it.
I don't know. I don't know, man. First thing that comes to mind is the Steris Wax banter. I just like that. I enjoyed it. That was fun.
Nice.
And then
Specifically the one at the beginning, like when they were going into the wedding.
yeah, they're going into the party.
Or the party, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Also, the wedding planning was funny too.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good banter. I really
yeah.
liked that one.
The Wayne bar scene's awesome too.
Yeah.
I think maybe just like the Tensoon cave part, I wasn't a huge fan of overall. Even though I love Tensoon.
Yeah.
I
Love
just
that
like
place for you.
it was a bit generic of a location, and also the thing I mentioned before with like him thinking that Palm not wanting to be controlled was a big realization. And I was like, that's kind of lame. But yeah, it's hard to pick a low. It was good overall. Everything was good. So.
Yeah. The only thing with Ryland's high that I'm like the reveal of Leslie being Bleeder seems a bit like it was so out of left field, right? Like, do you guys wish that there were more things that you could have pieced it together yourselves, or do you prefer it to be?
I still think there was. The way she talked to him, and the connection that she had with him made no sense the whole book, and that frustrated me. And then the way she
It's just
talked to
such a
him like,
leap.
multiple
It's just
times,
such a
was
leap
just
to be like,
leap, though. Yeah,
she's his
it is such a
wife.
leap, but like, yes, but like some of the times she talked to him, and then when she was Leslie, and he's like, "Why are you talking like that?" Like, go
Yeah,
fucking
but
talk like
I don't know.
that.
Every time
You know
she
what I
talks to
mean?
him, like 80% of the shit she says is like, "I'll make them free. They have to be free."
No,
It's like,
but then when she was talking to Wax directly, it was I don't know, it was like some weird like, and then when she was Leslie and talking like Leslie to him before they revealed it, like that was very
yeah, but that was well, like we said, that was
weird.
one chapter before.
That's basically the reveal right there.
Yeah,
like,
that's the reveal.
Yeah.
I
don't
agree with
know.
Dylan. I think it would have been cooler if there was like could have gone back and like actually remembered some things that were giveaways. Because it's still I'm like it feels so random. Like
I also kind of like that I didn't get it at all though. Like, I didn't see it coming.
Just like such
It would
a
have been
crazy.
so bad if you saw
like
it coming.
like some M Night Shyamalan shit, bro. It was like a twist, just a twist.
There's no tension there. There was like if you knew that she wasn't gonna kill Wax, and you're just like, yeah, like I would have been ruined it. So maybe that's part of it too. Is just the risk was so high.
I don't know. We knew Wax wasn't gonna die.
Yeah, we knew she wasn't gonna try and kill him. Basically,
yeah.
Like she made that pretty obvious early on. I thought.
I'd probably say the Tensoon cave scene was probably my low as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some parts of it were really good. Like his realization, but just like, I don't know, some parts in the cave, like I guess I just didn't appreciate as much, like him flashing back to Mistborn first era. I don't know. Maybe I was a bit rushing that part. I think I was a bit tired. So I just didn't like. I was a bit confused, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, right. Okay, it's Mistborn Era 1." But
I like that. I liked that part with like the Mistborn references, but I don't know. I just felt like the whole thing was a bit pointless. I guess goes there. The main thing they find out is like what the Conjurer are doing is part of Palm's plan.
Yeah.
Like the Conjurer coming out and pretending to be priests. That's
Yeah.
the whole. That's the whole thing they find out there. And then there's like
And then it was a distraction the whole time.
it's distraction, and like Tensoon
Yeah.
shows up.
It's fair.
So
It was a bit. It was definitely like a big fan service part.
yeah, yeah.
It was like, okay, let's
And then
distract
there's
you
those
from this
creatures.
being
Creatures
kind
are
of
rad, too.
pointless. Yeah, let's distract you from this being kind of pointless by just throwing a bunch of fan service in here and just throwing back to all the Mistborn parts. You're just like, oh my god, that's so sick. And then it's like, then yeah, it was his excuse to have like a section dedicated to just like Mistborn 1 throwbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
well, it was
fair,
how
that's
was
fair.
yeah. That's how Wax figured it out though. You know, he needed Tensoon.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't trash or anything.
No, it wasn't
but
bad.
Yeah.
It was
like it was weaker than some other parts.
yeah. I think it's fair.
Yeah, and the creatures were a bit odd too. I was like messed up. But we'll see where that goes.
They looked kind of Colossi, or like they felt like they were kind of like in the same brand as like Coloss, but less
humans, disfigured humans.
Yeah.
All right, predictions.
That was odd too. That's actually a freaking low. Why were they? Oh yeah, because they were timed to be sent once you figured out that it was a distraction. That's what makes sense. That's how it's not a plot hole, which is super weird. That these like disfigured creatures had like a fence that someone pulled at the right time.
Hit
But
the quick time event.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. It's weird.
Well, I thought it was like triggered by
They-
them trying to leave.
Yeah,
So maybe there was like a switch.
But then,
that,
like-
there was probably a mechanical switch that like activated when they walked in to the room, and then activated again when they left, and that was what activated it, or when they tried to leave.
yeah. It's just yeah.
I
I mean,
think
probably, and then
like they're in the era where that I feel like is generally like that could happen.
that's some good freaking plan. And we already knew that, but but then also like running the risk of killing Wax. Dude, it was odd.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, what's the point? Like, either they're gonna kill him, or you're saving like 5 minutes of time.
There's a lot of that in this
Fighting?
series where it's like his uncle is also just like randomly trying to kill him, but not really the whole time.
yeah,
Yeah,
He's
it's
like
a bit-
everyone's like he's not Wayne. I just like almost kill him.
He's a bit on the nose there, right?
His uncle, yeah, the uncle thing.
All right, predictions, boys. Predictions.
Okay. Aerodel dead. First 20%. Easy prediction.
I'm gonna predict
So-
against that. It's gonna
Okay.
take at least halfway through the book for him to die.
Okay.
Not much of a different prediction.
yeah. Big shift there, but
At
yeah.
least halfway through the book before he dies.
I don't think he's gonna die, but I don't think he's gonna have a huge part. That's my prediction.
Eris and Wax are gonna get married.
Asteris?
Yeah,
No,
but
not gonna get married. Because they said
They
they
got
put it
married.
off. They said they put it off, right? At the end of this book.
Well,
Put it off again.
because he's depressed.
Yeah.
he has depression.
Fill it up for a few weeks.
Prediction.
Not like
He's
forever.
never gonna marry Steris.
But you think he's gonna get together with Marassi in book 4?
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I could see it
Dude,
going either
this
way.
man.
Sorry. No, I can't see it going either way. Not I can see it going either way. I can't see it going either way. Him getting married to Steris and that being like the conclusion
It's not gonna happen.
is weird. But then like him just ditching her and going to Marassi is also like crazy.
Dude, he's midlife crisis levels of like fucked up right now.
He's really fucked.
Marassi's gonna take him back at this point.
Yeah.
Marassi's gonna get a boyfriend. That's my prediction.
And his name is Waxilium. Waxilium the second. No, her boyfriend.
What was
is
that
gonna
part
be,
with
is gonna be
Aerodel?
Mr. Suit.
And Aerodel dies.
Yeah.
Mr. Suit.
Mr. Suit.
Mr. Suit.
Yeah.
My prediction is that we're gonna get some Cosmere reveals. Next book.
Wow. Oh. Prediction is Mr. Suit. I don't know. I was gonna say some jank shit, but I couldn't think of anything jank enough. I was gonna say Mr. Suit's Teravangian, but that's too dumb.
Dude, I was literally just about to say that. Mr. Suit is. You were saying Mr. Suit is, and I'm like, dude, Mr. Suit's basically Teravangian. That's gonna be the. He actually will be, dude. He will be, man. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Kind of like Teravangian, at least. Ron, we need one prediction from you.
One crazy prediction, bro. I know.
What's that girl's name that Wayne loves?
Renette.
Wayne will kill Brunette.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. By accident? On purpose.
Dude, that's actually. I was like, that's an insane fucking prediction. But then I'm like, you know,
It
could happen.
We can't just have Wax be depressed. We gotta have Wayne to be depressed too. Yeah.
They need to replay the same themes. It was on purpose, but everyone like tells him like, oh no, like it was an accident. And he's like,
Whoa.
he's like, there's no way that, yeah, like they try to convince him that. He's like, no, I actually meant it.
All right, guys, that's been booked. No,
all right, let's leave it there. Yeah, let's leave it there.
All right,
it's pretty funny. Yeah, we
They're all
gotta get
gonna come
Ryland
true.
in for his bedtime by 9.
Night, crowd.
Peace.
Hope Dylan's audio worked.
I can see it. I can see it working this time. I can see the thing moving. All right, guys, that's been Books on Tap. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
For Bands of
Peace.
Mourning. We'll see if we split it up or not.